In 2079, the most violent humans are sent to a massive supermax prison orbiting Earth called MS-1. There, all prisoners are held in stasis, with zero incidents of violence since its creation. CIA operative Snow is being interrogated and punched repeatedly in the face, as he refuses to talk about what happened the night before in New York. 2 nights ago, Snow was in the midst of an intense fight with unknown men over stolen government secrets. Colonel Armstrong, who had uncovered the conspiracy, lay dying after the fight, telling Snow to take the briefcase. Officers then burst into the room, but Snow takes them out before escaping a helicopter's gunfire. He makes it to the roof, but the chopper corners him, forcing him to jump from the building. He quickly recovers and barely escapes the officers who are closing in quickly. Snow then steals a bike as the officers give chase. He gets to the subway station to meet his friend as officers are closing in. He is caught in a net but manages to throw the briefcase onto the closing train where his friend collects it. Secret Service Director Langrel accuses both Snow and Armstrong of stealing the secrets, after which Snow killed Armstrong. He shows Snow a video of him apparently killing Armstrong, saying he also saw it with his own eyes, but Snow accuses him of setting him up. Langrel wants to know who Snow's contact is, but Snow is not giving him up. CIA agent Harry Shaw then takes over the interrogation, taking off his restraints and giving him a smoke. We then see Snow's contact, Mace, locking the case away. His gun accidentally falls, shooting an officer, after which he is shot by a cop. Snow refuses to say the name out loud but writes it out on the table for Harry only, while Langrel looks on unaware. At the White House, Langrel meets with the president about Snow, where he also learns that his daughter is currently off the planet. His daughter, Emily, is currently on a humanitarian mission to MS-1, citing that prisoners held in stasis could develop brain complications and is inhumane. They enter the prison and are provided with radiation tags. Emily thinks that the prison's true purpose is to test space exploration on humans, since they are being funded by an aerospace company, but the warden reminds her of the monsters they are holding there. The warden then wakes a prisoner named Heidel, allowing Emily to interview him. Emily's guards have to hand over their weapons, but one agent, Hawk, hides a gun strapped to his ankle. On Earth, Snow is being held for transport to MS-1 to serve his sentence, and Langrel comes by to rub it in his face. Emily meets Heidel, who is obviously deranged. He begins to taunt Emily, and Hawk, on an ego trip, begins to get handsy. Heidel steals his gun and shoots the glass, causing a pressure explosion. Emily barely escapes the room, but Heidel shoots her in the leg. She runs to the control room, warning a scientist, but Heidel barges in. He slams the scientist on the table, activating the control room, and sees the other prisoners being held. He forces the scientist to open all the stasis pods before shooting him. The prisoners begin rioting, causing the guards to grab their weapons. One prisoner, Alex, takes out 2 guards and takes a shotgun. Hawk wakes up after the explosion and alerts Langrel of the prison break. The warden attempts to activate sleeping gas, but Alex takes him hostage. Heidel grabs Emily, trying to take advantage of her, but Alex stops him. They then realize that the police force is on their way and has a scientist get the defense system ready. Heidel cannot control himself and activates them, shooting down the incoming ships. Alex is mad at him and reminds him that he is not in charge. Langrel and Harry report to the president about the takeover on MS-1, and Langrel wants to send in his forces. Harry, however, thinks it would be safer for Emily if they sent in just one man to get her, Snow. He is not fond of the idea of infiltrating a prison overrun by the criminally insane, but Harry tells him secretly that Mace is on MS-1 and he agrees to the mission. He sets off for MS-1 on board a shuttle and learns that there are 400 prisoners loose, and once he gets Emily, to get to a secret escape pod. Back on MS-1, Alex is forced to kill a prisoner wielding a knife and gets cut. He requests a doctor, and one prisoner, thinking Emily is a doctor, comes to get her to help him. Langrel, Snow and Harry arrive at the low-orbit police department, taking over operations. Langrel speaks with Alex and sees Emily fixing his hand, and Snow realizes that they don't know they have the president's daughter. Alex then opens the feed and shows them preparing to execute the warden of the prison. They lock him away in an airlock, and before he could reveal that Emily is on board, Heidel blows him out into space. Alex then tells them they have 1 hour before they execute another prisoner. Langrel is planning to send in his team, but Harry tells Snow to get ready and he hitches a ride on a ship. Langrel then sends in a negotiator who requests that the prisoners send out a hostage. He tries convincing Alex that they can cut him a deal if he sends out someone, preferably a wounded woman. Meanwhile, the negotiator is wearing a camera glasses that broadcasts the conversation and armed inmates back to Harry and Langrel. Alex agrees to the deal and unknowingly decides to let Emily go free, but Heidel demands that they let another woman out, and ends up shooting Emily's assistant since they want a wounded hostage. Harry sends Snow in and he floats onto the prison, but an inmate spots him and reports to Alex. The negotiator begs for his life but Alex shoots him dead. Alex then sends Heidel to go and kill the stranger, revealing that Heidel is his brother. Alex then realizes that Emily is the president's daughter from a news bulletin. Hawk and Emily are on an elevator with a prisoner when Snow turns up and begins to fight the man, until he uses an explosive to blow his head off. Emily and Hawk run to a room where Hawk shoots the panel to lock them inside, but accidentally damages the oxygen control. Alex and his men track Emily down to the room, and order them to get him engineers. Snow is looking for Mace in the prison database when Langrel alerts him to Emily's drop in oxygen from a medical implant. They order him to get to her or she will be dead in 5 minutes. Harry guides Snow to an alternate route to get to Emily until he gets to the gravity generator below him. They tell Snow he can glide over when a prisoner attacks him. They battle while floating and Heidel sees them on the cameras. He shoots the panels causing the gravity system to fail and the prisoner to fall, but Harry manages to activate it just in time to save Snow. Alex gets his 2 engineers and shoots one, frightening the other until he pees himself. Alex shoots him and they get another engineer to begin working on the door. Hawk sees the notification about the failing oxygen levels and shoots himself in the head to give Emily more time to survive. Snow is hurrying to get to the room and blows his way inside. Emily is dying, so the CIA guides Snow to restarting her heart, and using a needle to inject into her brain to stimulate activity. Snow gives her mouth to mouth and she jumps awake in shock. They barely escape the room when Alex and his men manage to open the door. They hear something in the vents, and one prisoner catches something which turns out to be a bomb. Alex then overhears Snow on his radio in the vents and he gets an engineer to hack the communication, cutting them off. Snow and Emily end up falling into a room, where they stop to get her wounds fixed up. Emily wants them to go back and save the hostages, but Snow reveals that his mission is to save her. Snow gives Emily a gun and the map to the escape pod, and sends her off on her own to be an independent woman and find her own way. They hear Alex on the prisoner intercom, advertising Emily's presence to the entire prison, telling them to find her. Snow decides to take Emily along with him and plans to disguise themselves as prisoners. He gives her prisoner's outfit and cuts and dye her hair, before punching her in the face and giving her a scar so she can blend in. Alex then speaks to Langrel, revealing that he knows about Emily and threatens to give her a couch casting. Alex gathers a few men to hunt for Emily but leaves Heidel behind, telling him to not do anything stupid. Snow and Emily walk out among the prisoners, looking for any sign of Mace. He finds his pod empty before an inmate confronts them. Snow attacks him and they make a run for it. They manage to open a door and encounter Mace, but he is now brain damaged from stasis, unable to speak properly. Snow asks him about the briefcase but he cannot give a proper answer. They hear the prisoners cutting their way into the room and make a run for it, hiding in a boiler room. Snow and his men come looking for them but they manage to escape. The prison then crashes into the International Space Station, causing Mace to be locked on the other side of the door. While Snow desperately tries to free his friend, he tells Emily "I see you, I foresee you," before he freezes to death. Snow falls to the ground upset over the loss of his friend. Langrel and Harry hear the news about the crash, realizing that MS-1 is currently falling out of orbit and within 8 hours will crash into Earth. Snow and Emily get to the pod where there is only one seat. He tells Emily that he will get on the other pod and loads her inside and watches as the pod launches off. Turns out Emily has stayed behind, and reveals that Mace told her where the case is hidden, and if Snow allows her to help free the hostages, she will tell him. Heidel then comes on over the prison intercom, shooting hostages and warning her to reveal herself. In tears, Emily reveals her location but he ends up shooting all the hostages anyway. Snow and Emily run to another room and she confesses that she lied about knowing where the case is. They reach a lab where they see the corpses of prisoners being used in experiments when Alex corners them. Snow puts up a fight but gets shot, falling down the elevator shaft. Alex returns with Emily to the control room and sees all the hostages dead and punches Heidel. Alex reactivates the comms and Snow is woken up by Harry calling for him. Harry warns him that he needs to get out of MS-1 as it is falling out of the sky, and Langrel announces to Alex that he should let his men in or they will blow the prison up. Alex hands Emily a radio, ordering her to tell her father to call off the attack to save herself or he will set Heidel on her. She reaches out to her father, but defiantly tells him to launch his attack since the hostages are dead. Langrel tells the president to order the attack but when he refuses, Langrel relieves him of his duties and orders the attack. A squadron of planes then begins to close in on the prison. Heidel begins to whine about Alex not allowing him to take advantage of Emily. He suddenly stabs Alex in the chest and shoots the other prisoner. The planes are closing in, activating the automatic defense system of the prison which begins to attack them. Heidel is going after Emily and tries to stab her, but Snow turns up and knocks him out. The two make a run for it as the prisoners begin chasing after them. One plane manages to breach the security and lay a bomb just as Emily and Snow lock themselves in a room and begin to put on armored spacesuits. They manage to jump from the prison just as it explodes, which knocks Emily unconscious. The two burn through the atmosphere and Snow ditches his suit. He manages to get Emily out of her suit and get their parachute open and land safely on the ground. Cops then turn up and drag Snow away. A few weeks later, Emily is at the hospital under police guard but manages to escape. She has figured out a clue from what Mace had told her in the prison. She begins to remember Mace's ramblings and Snow's conversation leading her to a train station, where she uses the code I see you I foresee you, to gain access to the locker and the case. She then visits the room where Snow was accused of killing Armstrong, and realizes that what Langrel saw was due to a mirror, and another agent actually shot Armstrong. She then brings the case to her father. Harry turns up at the police station to visit Snow, where he reveals that he has the briefcase. Harry is excited to see it but opens it to see nothing. Snow wonders how he knew the combination to the case and they turn to see Langrel standing at the door. Harry then confesses to his conspiracy to sell secrets. He begins to ramble on about how useless Frank's life was in the grand scheme of things, but Snow grabs him and burns him with Frank's lighter, before Langrel takes him away. Snow then heads outside to have a smoke, when he realizes that the lighter he got from Frank contains a memory card. Emily then turns up, revealing that she orchestrated everything. She then returns his punch to him before they head off together. Remember to turn on notifications, so you can watch more movie recaps like this. Thanks for watching.